friend Vicki Sullivan and I are presenting our show called Felt Fusion in the gallery. And our work is mostly needle felting, but Vicki has also started working with encaustics. So some of her work is a very exciting fusion of fiber and wax, which is part of where the name came from. I think the name also lends itself to our collaboration. Our work is very, very different, even though we're both needle felters. My work is quite sleek and felted down, and Vicki's work is quite springy and three-dimensional. So it's just nice to see, I think, in our exhibit, the contrast in the way that you can work with the same materials. We showed together a couple of years ago at a fiber exhibit, and we were excited about each other's work. Not only the level of expertise we've managed to accomplish in a few short years, but how differently we work with the same material. One other difference between Vicki and myself is our preferred perspective. We both work a lot with landscape, and I prefer to see the world at a distance. So a lot of my pieces take quite a far-ranging perspective. I love to see the whole mountain range or the entire field in flower. And so I really like to step back from my subject, whereas Vicki's work really celebrates not only the distant, but the close-up, the more intimate details. So that's another nice, contrast between our work. I create a lot of texture in my pieces by incorporating braiding and weaving, and I think it shows the landscape moving. And also, I appreciate the rigor of agriculture. So I think that very intentional pattern making lends itself to the idea of the intention of farming and the carefulness and the planting and the specificity of it. So, and it just keeps the eye moving. And then the light is able to hit the fiber from different angles, and it accomplishes a lot of different things all in one. One of my favorite pieces that Vicki has brought to the show is entitled Splendor in the Deep, and it's a beautiful image of the ocean and the life within the ocean. And I love how she's captured the light on the surface of the water and filtering down through the water, and the intensity of the color of all of the creatures in the coral. And she's mixed in a lot of mixed media, some neps and wool locks, so lots of different types of wool material, as well as some shells and bits of other materials. And this piece also, I'm glad she included it because it also highlights a difference in our inspiration. Vicki's done a lot of traveling, so her work really is from all over the world. And I think this piece in particular may have been inspired by her time spent in Australia. Whereas my work is much more local, very, very Alberta and Saskatchewan in nature. So my favorite part of creating art from wool is the sky. I love creating expressive skies, and that's probably part of the reason why I stick mainly to Canadian landscape, and especially prairie and mountain landscape, because the sky is such a prominent feature in all of these places. And and it's quite special how lifelike you can create clouds and other sky features with wool. That's been a really exciting discovery for me. So that's my favorite part of most of my pieces. My favorite artist was a Saskatchewan-based fiber artist, mixed media. She did kind of stitch together landscapes and then beautiful wet felted skies. Her name was Myrna Harris. She had her work at the Skycraft Council, the Saskatchewan version of the Craft Council, and other galleries in Saskatoon, and my family collected her work, and I was just smitten with her pieces. Unfortunately, Myrna passed away before I was able to grow up and afford a piece of my own, and her work is hard to come by because it's all privately owned. But I always held in my mind how much I loved the look of light on fiber, and so during COVID, I needed a hobby, and so back in my mind, I thought, you know what, why don't I get some wool and just see what I can create with it? So I always love to be busy and creative with my hands. And about a year in, I had given away all my pieces to family and friends, and I was starting to get commissions. So that's how I got started with this medium in particular. There's something for me that's so comforting, so deeply comforting about the look of light on fiber. My next show is at the Alberta Craft Council in the Edmonton location in the Discovery Gallery, and that begins on November 8th and runs through to the end of December. That show is called A Softer Gaze, and it's all of my work that I've framed in oval frames, about equal amount prairie and mountain scenery, so very Alberta once again. And then next year I have several shows lined up, so please stay tuned for all those details.